Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 165th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace on Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today along with Mark. And we are hosting the Universal Council, who will be presenting today's workshop. Okay, let's get into it here. I think we have a Universal Council member that will be helping us here.
Okay. Hi, this is Marie. I'm a Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. And I welcome you all to the 165th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace, because that is our common wish, the wish for peace. So we can, when we achieve world peace, we can enter the universal community and the unicos or universe. So that is the goal. We will, I think from the next week, we will have a focus on the world peace. So then we will have much more about that. So now I'll read this poem, or what it is. Through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are equal, and all souls are as creators, as they are created in the image of the Creator. So welcome everyone to Universal Council and the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marie, and this chapter is calling Balancing the Books. And it's about finding balance, make up for all my wrongs, and make it right so that I will be able to meet my soul. And the purpose is that I want to create the conditions for the fields that allow my soul to elevate. And all this came up when I was in a soul teaching with Mr. Keshe, the 4th of May, 2020, that inspired me a lot. And to find this teaching, you need to be a private student, and you will find this teaching in the folder called Open Discussion 2020. In this teaching that I was inspired by, Mr. Keshe talks about how to reach your own soul, which is something that has been on my mind for a long time, because I guess we're all soul searching, and I need some clarity in this. And there is so much clarity in this teaching. So there is a lot of truths in this teaching. And these truths hit me hard in regard to my own life. And in this teaching, he talks about how to balance your books and the importance of doing so you can be ready to meet your own soul. So after seeing this teaching, I was thinking, how can I get started with this balancing the books? And I got this brilliant idea to write a letter to my own soul. So that is what this is about. I started a letter to my own soul. The letter is like a timeline which goes back to my childhood and until present day. I started on this letter, and it gets longer and longer. And I'm adding to this letter every time I remember something from my past that I need to look at. And people that are known, and the letter is growing in size every day. And to be honest, it's a long and boring story about my life. And it's very personal, and I will not read it here. It's between me and my soul. But back to the teaching that I mentioned. So here is what I gained from this teaching with Mr. Keshe. I will read some stuff that I noted from this teaching. Your soul says you lived a shitty life. You have not understood your own self. The soul is aware of your misconduct, but in physicality, you think you are correct. The soul is always aware of your expectations. For instance, if you offer help to someone, but you actually do it for your own benefit. The conflict in your life is between soul and man, or with other words, the soul of the man and the soul of physicality, as I understand it. And when there is a conflict between these two souls, everything becomes unbearable. So this is the reason for my messy and not too happy life. So I had to clear up this. And then he says, you have to go back to the start of the problem. People do wrong, and the soul is aware of it. And you are punished by your own soul. So now I know why I'm suffering, because I am punished by my own soul because of my conduct. If you do a lot of wrong and you feel you are the victim, then you continue to lie to yourself, covering up your misconduct. And in front of your own soul, you are naked. Your soul knows everything about you. If you betrayed someone, your partner, your friend, the result is that you will have a mess in your life. I think many can agree on that. You can convince one or two people, but you can never convince your own soul. Your soul knows everything about you and your life. And those who do wrong, they never see their soul. You will never see your soul if you do not clean up your own mess. And it's not about the cleansing of your soul, it's understanding oneself. So I guess this is my main motivation for writing my letter, because I'm really longing to see my own soul. So this is necessary for me to proceed. And then stop mourning and stop where you go wrong. Stop cheating, stop lying, and stop lying to yourself. I can really see myself in that last part. And that's hard to understand when you're lying to yourself. And be responsible in any situation. Like Mr. Keshe many times says that we should talk good, think good, and act good. Try to be honest with yourself. Stop blaming others. So now I see all my problems are my own creation. Go find out what you did, who you hurted, what you damaged, and be straight with it. Not just talk as it is to your own benefit. Now you might start understanding. See how many you have betrayed. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to others about yourself. Clean the manure from your soul, Mr. Keshe says in this teaching. So I felt it really personal. And then further in this teaching, Mr. Keshe gives us some advice in how to live our lives. Mr. Keshe says that I talk about my problems because then it becomes the problems of the souls who created the problem. And they cannot live with it. So they have to clean up that problem themselves. And then he says, only take what you need. Then you live a good life. It takes the pressure out of your life. When you are clear with your soul, you live like me, Mr. Keshe says. If you are harmed, you walk away from it. If you stay in it, you pay for it. Be an observer. If you get involved, then you become part of the problem. Walk away from people who hurt you. If you react, you become part of it. Clean up what you have created. Be straight with yourself. He also says, when you love, you never possess. And I will mention that there is a great teaching about that in the 119th, One Nation, One Planet, One Race. Then Mr. Keshe says, the jail is here and there is no free card this time. Now you have to start sorting out your conduct and behavior with your own soul. The change comes through understanding yourself. It takes both detachment and enlightenment. Once you judge yourself, you put your things straight. There is nobody else to judge you. But you have to put it right to the people you did wrong, because the physicality soul has to be justified just as well as the soul of the man. You have to match your behavior with the behavior of your soul. And from today, try to live by the law of the universe, not by your own laws. See what you have done to that soul and see if you are just to yourself. So by writing the letter to my soul, I go back and turn stone by stone. Many things have started to change after I started writing this letter. I feel better with myself and with my relationships. People and situations I thought I had forgotten can suddenly appear in my mind. It's all added to my letter. I understand that I have to do the cleanup also in physicality with people I have hurt, like my mother. So this is an example for my own life. My relationship with my mother has been damaged by my misconduct through my life. And now it feels better after I tried to clear up this misconduct. So my soul is healing, and the soul of my mother is healing, and our relationship is slowly healing. So that's something I've done in the physicality. So I admit to myself that I created all the mess by myself. I'm ashamed of my misconduct through life, but by trying to sort it out, it makes me feel better. I feel I can live with my past, and I have learned a lot about myself on the way. I'm trying to be honest with myself, and I have a strong feeling of relief in a strange way. It helped me by writing down all my misconducts and wrongs, and to admit to myself that I did many wrongs in my past, and many wrongs that I didn't actually knew was wrongs, because I kind of didn't look at it like wrongs. But now I see it's wrong. Now I'm eager to sort out my past, to clear my soul, and to go on with my new good life, where I am in balance with my own soul. Writing this letter has in a way been like Judgment Day in advance for me. So why wait for Judgment Day if you can do the job in advance with your soul? I'm more aware now than before, in thoughts, in talks, and in what I do in my life. My life is now guided by the tools that is given freely to me, the ethos, the commandments, and all the teachings, and by the new understanding of myself. It all support me in living my life the correct way. This is my way of balancing my books. This is my attempt to clean my own soul, and by that create the conditions of the fields for my soul to elevate. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Marie. Next, we have the Farsi community.
Good morning. This is Azar Farsi. You see Farsi. I guess Marie wanted to share some of the photos I took when I was in Iran. If you want to share the photos, we can see that. And I can just add a few things. Do we have the photos, Rick?
Sorry, where were they again?
Marie, did you put it with the Farsi connection?
They are on the next slide.
Ah, right, okay. Good.
You just can go through them. This is something we saw on that video. I can go to the next one. Actually, this was in one of the museum. This was found in one of the areas that goes about 2,500 years ago. It seems like there was a male and female with all the artifacts next to them. And I just took a photo of it. but they really don't know the story behind it. And this was the tomb that they found, that those two people. Okay, this is the Boston Ark. This is the area, is not the area that we saw Temple of Mithra and Anahita. This is called Boston Ark. This is where the is a few miles away from that. But interesting thing is, it goes back to the same. And actually, on the side of this, you see the Ahura Mazda with Mithra and the king when he was given the ring of kingship and peace. And when you see above this ark, also you see the two rings held by two angels. And the other side, the body of the angels is kind of destroyed, is washed away. But on this side, you can see is holding the ring. And inside this, if you go back to the next photo, maybe next photo it shows the. Okay, in here, if you see inside of this, this is actually go back to original with that King of Cyrus, but then on the side of it, there is another paintings and scriptures, which really another dynasty came in and they want to make themselves part of it, and they put their own signing and scriptures there, but doesn't belong to that period. And it was interesting to see. But then here, one of the things you notice, actually this area is fascinating because of the temperature of that area. The king usually used to come to this area summertime. That was the summer house there around that area, which is always, summertime is cool, and wintertime actually, the minute summer finishes, the temperature changes. Actually, people have to close the windows because it gets cold. And inside that ark, also you see the same thing right in the front. But then on the lower, you see how the king is on a horse, and he has a kind of arrow for like a hunting. Next one. Okay, this is much closer look. You know, the other area, all these areas, they had the people lived there from 7,500 years ago. It was amazing. There was another area that I took, it was a dwelling, that I took a movie of it, which reminded me of Colosseum in Rome. It was very similar to that, but I was always wondering if the parallelism of all these areas, but it was fascinating. Is there another picture, or this was the last one? Okay, this is the one, you see the Anahita, which is behind Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda right in the middle, which is the god. And the king is on the right side. And then you see the ring of the kingship, which is the king gets to be a king as a just king in the land of the Persia. And Ahura Mazda actually was a big thing there. And then I just actually, for some reason, I felt it there. Is a feeling of it is something else. It actually, this one is another area. Actually, is written in another language, which you can't see here clearly. But it is all carved in a mountain, and people come just to visit. We went to that area. It's called, I don't know, you call Khat Mihi, which different kind of a writing, but they translated, and they put the translation in 3 different languages. It was Farsi, then Mihi, and then in English. But these are all carved right in the mountain, which is high up, and there's nothing around it. There's no house, nothing there. But this is from this is from 2,500 years ago, the same period. And this is a statue of Anahita, and underneath it, it says Anahita under the statue in Farsi. One of the things really, it just make it full clear to me more than ever. Mr. Keshe talks about real creator, but we don't really. We have to touch it. We are the creator, because we say we are the creator, but we don't understand it. We just use it as a word. But really, truly, truly, we are creator. And everything that is around us, even if you see a single flower or a glass, anything around you, you're creating it. And actually, you can make it disappear and comes back again. And for that reason, we have so much power. Again, it still is not tangible for us. A lot of us, we cannot touch it, but the more you become in tune with yourself, alignment of the physical soul with the soul itself, actually align you with the creator. And then that itself, it opens all the door. It seems like the barrier falls down, and then you can see better. Not only you can see better, but also is just the creation itself. When we create our life, all the stuff, as Mori was saying, anything we have, any entanglement we have, we are doing it. And then we can say, oh, this person did this, but that person did it. But this is, again, your creation, because you created that entanglement to experience to whatever it is, because you're creating it. And then for that reason, we can actually create peace and on this planet very easily. The only thing is, if we concentrate on the peace itself and all that is come from love and peace, it will show up. Because it's just like when you have a show, and because everything else that we call bad, like things are not good or this person does bad things, the question is, if they have no audience, it goes away. But the only thing is, if we talk about it and we bring it on constantly, it means we have an audience of that. So that show exists. If there is a show and there is no audience, does that show exist? It will disappear. So what we want to create on this planet is just a show we want to create. What kind of show we want to create? So if we become an audience of peace and talk about peace, talk about love, and whatever gathering we go, whatever in our own life with ourselves we do, if we just have that, it's just part of us. Like, stay away from anything that is become like talking about anything that is negative, talking about that is of doom and gloom, talk about anything that is that nature. Actually, it loses its audience and actually will disappear from our life. So to me, it becomes very, very, more tangible, being there and seeing everything. And then actually, as Mori was talking about, it's fascinating. She's going through almost the same thing I'm going through, because you are the creator of your own life, whatever is happening, because you want to make yourself busy with that. Because if you don't have it, you're going to feel empty, but you have to find something to replace it with what you make yourself busy, which is like life itself, the peace itself, the life which is within us is constantly breathing with the rest of the stuff around you. It's just like if you allow it, you can even sometimes feel when you pass by some trees or some flowers, sometimes you can feel them. You can feel them in a way that tears can come down your eyes, but you don't know why the tears come down. But the tears is not the sadness. The tears is just the connectedness and the joy that you suddenly got connected with everything in the cosmos. And actually, that connectedness, it feels make you pores open in a way that you feel every cell in your body is breathing. Sorry about that. So this is very important, especially as a UC member. We want to make sure we stay on the path that it has, at least within ourselves, we have no conflict. Because how can we become a UC member if we have conflict within ourselves? because then we're going to create the same thing in the language we have. But the less conflict you have with yourself, with around yourself, and become the path to peace is much, much easier. And actually, you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. It is just as if you opening the door. These doors were all closed, suddenly opening the door, and everything is start to flow, everything is start to come in. But it's just a matter of more than concentrating outside of yourself, is more than connecting within yourself, with your own soul, with your own, who is this person? For example, who is Azar? Azar is not the one who is a dentist, who is a mother, is not none of that. But the part of that part of me, which is the image of God, but the operation of it happens in this physicality, and I play the role as the rest of the stuff that gave me identity. But this is none of it is me. But the one that is pure and is God, it just shows itself when I breathe. That breath goes to everything and connect with everything. And then it's easier, life becomes much, much easier. And these are the things that really made me realize, being in that space, and I could see why the kings at those times could be just, and what does Ahura Mazda means. Because they said Ahura Mazda was watching the land of Persia with 1,000 eyes. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfek, representing Bengali language. Today, oh, something changed. Am I in this slide, or this something else is happening?
We're on the
Anyway, I'll continue.
Bengali community slide.
Okay. So this, so what I'm going to talk about today is about, how things, disease. I mean, one of the things about that came up, this question came up in the Universal Council, among the Universal Council member, about transmission of disease, hereditary disease. Now, when you talk to people who has health difficulty, let's say skin problems, most of these things are connected to our emotional state. So where does this emotional state come? Yes, of course, some of these are our thoughts and things we think daily, things we may get stressed about, things we may get joyful about, and stay calm, things like that, positive things. But is that all there is to it? We also live in an environment, a culture, a society, a community. So the community itself have certain inclinations, certain understanding, certain conception of things, be it misconception or be it conception that takes us forward. All of these creates emotion that affect us. Everybody getting worried about a particular disease may make us uneasy as well. So all of these factors do affect us. Now, this we are talking about in terms of space, the way where we grew up or where we live. Now, if we position ourselves in a different cultures, we abruptly see a big change in our environment. Some of our emotional responses of necessity has to adjust to this new environment. And people, let's say Bengali people living in the United States, which I've seen, they sometimes, some of them want to just hang out with people from this part of the world, because some of the emotional adjustments are things that they're difficult for them to move to. Here, I mean, they can be positive or negative. They can inspire us. They can also inhibit us. And in a new environment, not necessarily because of the physical condition, emotional condition also affects our health. I have seen people getting sick moving to another country. And how do they get sick? I mean, they're obviously in a healthy environment in terms of the food they consume and stuff like that. And, the part of the world I'm in right now, it's more chaotic and there's a lot more dirt in the environment. But how does these things happen? The emotions play a big role. And if you move around expatriate communities, not just of one kind, but I had friends who are from other countries, you see this kind of condition. Their emotions are affected, especially those who came with the children who are young and working, but they're of an advanced age. So to them, the adjustment is big, and they feel really isolated and feel bad about their situation. Although materially they're very well off, but the emotional support structure or the community that they were part of is no longer there. And some of them add new kinds of health problems as they move from one place to another. And there are cases where they move back to their original environment and they're okay again. So you see the connection of the emotional state of emotion affecting health as we move from place to place. Now, this is in terms of place. If we extend this idea to time, and this we have talked in our Bengali teaching, is the concept of, there is a concept present in our culture, is that whatever we do affects 7 generations. And interestingly, it's not only in the past, it's also in the future. So both ways, it goes both ways, past and future. And this is a very strange concept. I don't know, how it came into existence, but I do know it exists here. So as we've seen the case of space change our emotional state. Space means relocating to a different field or community. I said community, but it's essentially a different field of environment where the emotions and the thoughts are a bit different. So something traumatic or dramatic or whatever that happened in the past in our family, does it get transmitted? We can see actually examples of this through mother's emotion. There is a common notion here is that in Bengali community is that mothers need to be protected. They shouldn't go into too much emotional upheaval. And if you observe families, in this culture, the families are more closely connected, and you see that mother's emotion, certain mothers' thought, actually do affect children. And like if a mother had several babies, depending on how the relationship with other family members, especially in joint families, that is common here. Joint family means, you know, some of the siblings stay together, or even sometimes like cousins too. So this kind of family, you see, you know, the dynamics of the family change, and often it affects the emotion of the mother, and it gets transmitted to the children. And sometimes it can be positive too. It's not just the disease or difficult emotional state that gets transmitted. It can be positive thoughts and being cheerful. Mothers are encouraged to be cheerful during pregnancy. This is, I mean, this is part of the cultural atmosphere we live in. But, you know, because of various conditions, that's not always maintained. But there is, you can see in larger families, this kind of dynamics playing a role. Now, it's, one could say, well, I mean, the two person born from one mother, they're of course different. But, you know, sometimes you see this, like, you know, in siblings, is that, you know, when the mother was in a stressful state, I mean, the child gets afraid more easily. Does it affect our health in the long run? Probably. Now, given this is the situation we all of us encounter one way or another, space and time, emotional field transmitting through space in our community, and through time through our family and the community they lived in at that time. Now, these emotions that gets carried over, because as we know, in the field, from the very origin of, at the level of the creator, to the succession of universes, galaxies, and solar system, the memory is sustained in the field. So same thing is true in the field in case of our birth in a family over a period of time. So do we have access to those? Well, I mean, in most cases, I would say no. But do we feel the effect? You know, like, you know, one of the things is that in my family, I mean, I inherited one characteristic from my father's side, is that my teeth from the time I was born was not very, you know, strong. And so my mother always used to say, this is from your father's side, you know, and all, they're all like this. So the teeth, the proper growth of teeth, obviously some signal comes from the brain, and, you know, it arranges these things. But there, you know, there was some like little bit of error in this. So obviously it did affect the physical construction. So as a result, you know, I tend to get teeth problem rather easily. So in any case, so now, given that we have this kind of emotional state transfer over space and time, if we are better aware of this condition, can we, through a stronger intention, neutralize the effect? And stronger intention or stronger fields. Let's start with stronger fields. You know, some devices, let's say, you know, plasma device of some sort, or our thoughts. Same thing. It's just you're creating stronger fields or higher strength fields. That's the more proper terminology here. It's a higher strength field. Can it change some of these things? Why not? And can it be tested? Yes, it can be. I have tested one situation specifically because I know this is a certain weakness I have. And I tested to see whether I could reverse it. So it can be reversed. Things, not everything, I haven't tried the tea problem that I was talking about, but it's there. It's not that bad. So I can live with it. But the basic idea of emotion affecting health and emotion getting carried over, or fields, it doesn't, the higher strength the field, that gets carried over, you have to apply a stronger field above that, sort of like the higher level of the design, to redesign that emotion or readjust the emotion. So this is, it's all within our capacity. Now, something to think about. If we really can create a very strong field in our present, does it propagate in space in our community? Does it propagate in time across our family line? It does. I mean, there are evidence of this. I mean, you can't tell that, in the future, yes, it affects our children, loving family, children are much more balanced, that we can see. And in the past, does it? Why not? In plasma, we know time doesn't exist. The linear time as we know it does not exist. And that, there are ways to, determine this kind of effect. But having this idea that we in our present, and sometimes this idea of being present, we use this term in our meetings as well. Being present not necessarily means the present. The present, we can think of the present, the span of the present, it's kind of like a bigger dot. So it spans time and space in all directions. So, I mean, is time only goes back and forth, or is there more to it than that? So these ideas that we, in strengthening our fields, whether through a device, let's say a universal health enhancement unit, or through our own capacity, can affect the fields further away in space and time. Just this idea alone is a good starting point to explore how far we can go with this. So with that, I conclude my presentation, and thank you very much. If anybody has any question about this, I have some experience, more than I talked about, but I'll stop here.
Thank you, my dear Moshfik. And I am going to say in Bengali, I say in English. Love from the core of my heart and soul, my dear Moshfik, and blessings of Ma. Moshfik, তোমাকে হৃদয় দিয়ে ভালোবাসা দিই, আত্মা দিয়ে ভালোবাসা দিই, আর তোমাকে মায়ের আশীর্বাদ করি। And I want to add about this hereditary, well, coming from many generations, the diseases, the unhappiness, the condition of pain and suffering. I have seen there was a friend of my father. I was too little to understand more thing, but still I was soulfully awakened like that, a kind of child. My father's friend, the other friend of father's, my father never discussed it with us. The other friends of my father, those who are very socially renowned and very good in status, they talk that the friend of my father has a generation of a disease of leprosy. And but I didn't, my father's friend name was Ashok Bhattacharya. And I never seen him any injury or anything like that. He's a fat man, and a very happy and joyful man. Whenever we go, we used to go in his house, but my father's other friends avoided it, and also tell my father that don't go there if you will get infected. But and the friend, those who are very in status and good, they say that whenever they come around with Mr. Bhattacharya, they found a foul smell around him. But my father didn't found anything like that, never smelled that. Not even us, we have played with their children, and we never seen him. He lived a long life, a good life, but he never seemed unhappy anytime. So, and the generation after never got that what you call leprosy. I know these things have I have listened to the stories how this leprosy has created. It has been created by unhygienic condition, uh, creating many uh, uh, that time as the British invaded or whatever, the Roman invaded, whatever there, they thrown people away from their house in a very poor and ghastly condition, and with an emotional failure, with hunger, they have originated. These things are created, like, and now with the light, with the knowledge of the generations, it has gone. We don't see leprosy much now, like TB, tuberculosis. So these are manifested things when we were growing up. We have learned it, we have seen it. We in my When I was about 15, I have only heard a case of cancer, a tumor with a friend of my, with a mother who is an auntie, I'll say. She has a tumor in her neck. Then we started seeing all the cancers and tumors. It was not before that. So this is heretically given to us from eons. And are we saying that this cannot be undone? Yes, this can be undone because this is very physical, very physical. Soul doesn't give us diseases, never. And but the soul observes every time, every conduct you do. Are you messing with the physicality? Are you indulging more? Are you playing victim, as Marie said? I am a victim and I am reading this journal of this doctor and carrying this away and telling other people too. Uh, here in WhatsApp, people messed all the things about the virus appeared now. And what is the assumption of is this virus, which is now spreading, killing people, will be hereditary, will out of fear, will be uh, taken away by generations in future, or people will understand that we should not do bad conduct, we should avoid bad conduct, avoid bad energy, stop it, and then grow, so that the generation coming will not manifest anything this like hereditary kind of thing. And I have seen that. I have seen that in my own eyes. My father's friend that has a history of leprosy. So this is what we have to understand, that the conduct of a man should be in a way of the ethos of the Creator, and the soul observes that. So we have to be careful what we say about freedom, about thoughts, about society, about energies, as we are all energies. So if we are playing with energy, don't play with it. Understand, have the interaction, balance it, and then give it to the services. Given is everything. In a way, good, I will say. So this is what I want to share with Moshfik. And hereditary or diseases, sickness are all around us, and it's a big business. The psychosis, the psychiatrists, the psychologists, the advertisers, the companies, the gurus, the Mahatmas, the Pandits, all are doing the same thing, just keeping the energies like leech to us. Don't play victim. This is no time for this. be awake and aware of this, be careful. So this is what I want to say. Thank you so much. Lots of love, my dear souls, for listening to me. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you are. Can you hear me properly, Rick?
Yes, very clear.
Thank you. This is Stefania from the Universal Council, representative of the Italian languages. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks to be here, all of you. Like Mr. Keshe said, wherever you are. I'm gonna talk slowly because Dan reminded me last time that I always talk quite fast. So for who translate, is very difficult to translate people who talking fast. Like, and I've been there, so I'm gonna have to remember to talk slowly. I just want to thank everyone, Azar, Moshfaq, Sweta, Mary, for the beautiful, fantastic presentation. Thank you. So I'm going to present today. Thank you, Valis. I'm going to present today the World Peace Project, One City and One Center, the Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. Thank you to give me this opportunity every week to talk. I will watch the time, so I will not over talk. But thank you so much to have this opportunity. So like I said, always the picture that you see, it's a lens exhibition where you can see the enhancement unit, the Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. So very important, the word enhancement, because they enhance the body and enhance everything around the planet. We have one machine, as I repeat every week, as you know, one machine is for enhance the body, and the other one it's repeat the work of the sun and the earth. So this is what we learn in thanks to Mr. Keshe. Mr. Keshe, he it's here to teach every Thursday for free. He shares his knowledge, the knowledge of the universe, or you can call him the knowledge of space. So if you look space and the micro and macro are the same. So as the sun and the earth, they materialize everything around you. So the same those machines, they replicate exactly what the sun and the earth do. So, and also they can replicate the soul of the matters around us. And this is all a big breakthrough through science. So we add in to the science of today, we add in and we stretch further to the plasma science. And because we stretch the plasma science, is the beginning of a new era. There is like I talked last week, is the time for change. And like Mr. Keshe said in the video of the creation, it's a time for change, and it's now. We, as you know, we cannot wait for many reasons. The planet needs to come to a point where the change have to be done if we want to continue to enjoy this planet. So with the plasma science, we're gonna be able to stretch to also outside this planet. So we're gonna join the universe and universal community. So that's why it's important to this peace project, because, as you know, in the universe, there is balance of the fields, so there is peace. So to be able to join, we have to have peace in Earth. So finally, we kind of we kind of understood that at the moment the humankind tried to take over. I don't know if you said in a right way, but the humankind, in this, definitely in the past 2,000 years, we tried to take over nature or take over the law of nature, and we start to have this kind of power way of working, where the human race is kind of dominating all other races, and try also to dominate nature. And we done this for 2,000 years, and we can see that definitely doesn't work, because we came to a point where we realized the nature cannot be dominated, and the Earth is a living entity. So like I think Asa mentioned it, if I don't mistaken, where she said this example where this guru said Earth without the bees, you know, Earth without the bees, the human will be extincted. I don't know, maybe in months, or if in the Earth the ant will be extincted, the humankind will be extincted. But if you take off the humankind from Earth, the Earth will start to flourish. So our domination in the last 2,000 years, it doesn't brought us to it doesn't work. So we have to now learn how to work with nature, how to work with the law of the universe, and see if we, instead to dominate everything around us, if we start to become equal or even and coexisting together. So with the plasma technology, we got the opportunity of this, of learn. Mr. Keshe, he teaches us how the universe works and how we can live in harmony with nature, and how can we bring back balance to planet Earth, and this will have ripple effect in the universe and in the galaxy, in the cosmos. So that's why we said the word of peace. Peace is balance of the fields. So as you know, we're gonna start the peace project the 21st of April. As you know, Mr. Keshe, he will he now, last Thursday, he called for politicians and scientists to come forward. So if you know any, if you have any contact with any scientist groups or any personalities of any languages, now is the time to contact them and bring knowledge together and see how we can share knowledge. So to find this balance, this coexistence between each other's. And hopefully by sharing knowledge, it will become more clear the path of where we should go to have a great future. So also Mr. Keshe will do a lot of interviews with any politician or people who are involved in politics to really bring forward this peace project. So in this way, if we all sign the peace treaty, then we committed to peace. Our soul, it's committed to peace. And therefore, we can embrace this new technology. Because as you know, this technology, it will blow your mind. It will stretch all your imagination. It will do things beyond your imagination. So you have to so because going beyond your imagination has to be equally distributed all over the countries, and has to be used equally all over the world. And therefore, it requires to create this one city, one center. So we have to work as one. So with the plasma technology, the human will step into another human. It's like if the old human, the human of yesterday, that it was working more on power and domination and wars and injustice and inequality. The human of today, by implementing the plasma technology, it will be a human that is see beyond the horizon. Is a human that he has to learn how to. I don't know if correct the word dreams, but has to start to use their imagination. We have to start to work on our imagination. We have to start to work on thinking out the box, because already to be able to have imagination, it requires some practice. Because many of the things that we don't do is because we cannot imagine them. If we start to work on our imagination and learn how to think out of the box and become creative, open up our mind, that will allow us to do things we could never imagine before. So definitely I invite everyone to start to think out of the box, start to visualize wherever, like I said many times, like Mr. Keshe said to us in the Mojan, he said, you have to imagine like you wake up in the morning and you won a lottery, and what you would do if you won a lottery. So you have to kind of search your mind and think about if there is anything you can do, what you would do, how you will be your future life, what will be, how your paradise on earth, how you've seen it. We have to start to work on this. And And this is something that each one of us can do any time of the day. Doesn't cost you anything. Anyone can do this. Just practice this imagination. So you can see in the Keshe Foundation website, there is the vision of Mr. Keshe. It's such a lovely vision. I really love it, that vision. So he said, for he didn't read it, maybe we can read it. I don't know if, actually, I don't know, because I don't want to put in difficulty, Rick. But the vision of Mr. Keshe is very beautiful. So definitely it's equality. It's also written in the Earth Council as well. Is equality, okay.
Okay, here's the website. Where's the vision that you're talking about?
I think there is also definitely in the Earth Constitution, there is a little bit of the vision of Mr. Keshe for sure. Where it says equality. If you go in the Universal Council, I think also you get also the Earth Constitution. I think there is the Earth Constitution.
You see,
The Earth.
see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this
site. Maybe it's back on.
1 second.
EC Constitution.
Yeah, perfect. In English.
Okay. Did you just want to skip through it, or did you want to?
If you click on it, if you click on it, click on English one, English version.
Yeah, I did here, but I didn't share it. I have to share my desktop. And there we go. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Earth Council Constitution.
Here somewhere there is the vision of it's actually it's what also Mr. Keshe goes close with the okay, please.
There's 13 pages to this.
Yeah, there is one where it really starts with equality. I know that it's not at the very beginning. If you go forward, our wish, yeah, go forward. But even this, look, even this, if we stop here, no. So when we talk about freedom, when we talk about because it's important, we're gonna do even this one actually. Go to number one, because this is important because we're gonna start from the 1st April. We're gonna start the work, the talk for peace. We're gonna make the politicians signed the peace treaty. But peace, what does it mean? Peace means freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom from anger, freedom from lack of resources, freedom to explore the path to understanding our own soul, freedom to learn, freedom to contribute to social according to our talent and what we find fulfilling. So I have to read slowly for Dan, sorry. Oh, you want to read it, Rick? You better read it, or shall I read it?
Oh, you're doing fine.
I do it, okay. So freedom to choose through our soul how and then when wish to manifest in the physical or not. This is important. This is important because this is so important because Mr. Keshe, what I understood from what Mr. Keshe taught us with the plasma technology and the beginning of plasma era, we're gonna learn how our soul works and how we can manifest our physicality or not. And if we don't learn this now, then we are alive. Then once we passed away without learning this, we lose the choice of when to manifest our physicality. Yeah, this is very, very important. Very important. Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Keshe talked a lot about this, and this comes with peace. So that's why it's very important that we sign the peace treaty and we commit to peace. So we're gonna be able to learn this. Then freedom for being the property. No, freedom for being the property of other. I don't understand. Freedom for being the property. What does it mean?
Freedom from being the property of another. In other words, you're not owned by someone. You're not a slave, let's say.
Okay, yeah, very important, especially today. Today that we have these things where they want to implement compulsory law, but people should have the freedom. The freedom, every path should bring to freedom of choice, so freedom also, or what you can decide for your own self. Very important today. So this again relative or today, freedom from all suppression and new and innovative technology and information for peaceful application. So even this applied with the plasma technology. Freedom to share, freedom to thinking, freedom to love and give, freedom of choice, freedom of language, freedom of a monetary system. And this is very important because we know that a lot of, because of money, because of power of money, of the system behind, you know, for example, I'll make an example, no? We could have had the flying car long time ago, in 2008, for example, but because we don't have freedom of monetary system, they prefer to destroy a flying car and still going with fuel because some people cannot benefit from it. But if there are no people, few people benefit, but we all benefit, we will go for the top technology straight away. So even the fact that it take us so long to implement, also the plasma technology is because there are a lot of no freedom in the monetary system. But once we have this freedom, we can produce the best things at the best time for the best of everyone. We've got no limits. So can you imagine how much faster we can progress? So instead to have a plastic aeroplane, it's all plastic, because we will have a freedom of monetary system, we will have a spaceship unit like the one I showed you before. Freedom from punishment, no captivity of execution. This is really important as well, because at the moment, what's happening now, we look for someone to blame or someone to say that it's their fault. We're like this because their fault. It will be like a victim society. I noticed, for example, even now, the people wanted to fight for the human rights. They're still fighting because the government because or the police because they blame them for whatever happening now. So we still kind of follow in the same trap. But if we sign the peace treaty and we're committing to peace, we will also have this freedom from punishment. So it means that we change the game now. We don't punish someone any longer, but we elevate them. So, for example, instead to go in the piazza and start to fight for your right, no, and then you fight, and then you get hurt, and then maybe you're gonna get arrested or whatever, and more violence into. Instead to feed this violence, we change the game. So now we elevate them. We don't punish them. We say that if from today you change your conduct, like Mary said, you balance your book. If people understand the concept of balance the book and self-responsibility, they know that people, when they learn about the plasma era, they will know that everything you do, you're accountable for. So you will think twice before to do anything, because you will have to pay somewhere on the line. That what does it mean, balance the book. Mr. Keshe, from my understanding of what he said many times that the soldier, they go in the war and they kill civilians or innocent people in name of even name of peace. Exactly, that's why even in name of peace, they will not kill anymore if they understood what they're going into karmatically, because they will have to pay the books. The same with the politician. The politician will sign the peace treaty tomorrow if they understand what they're going through, through their misconduct. The misconduct, a politician, they will pay later on for the misconduct. So at the end of the day, each one of us will pay for our own misconduct. So this is the game, this is the new game. This is why we call him the new plasma era. Freedom from conflict and war, yeah, because like I said to you before, so a peace also means we're gonna stop the wars. And like Mr. Keshe said, he said in one of the interview, he said, can you imagine all the money, because everyone knows that the most expensive business, and I know because I had clients, I used to work in Qatar. So I used to have, some of my clients, they were doing business with army. So they told me this is the most profitable business. Who is into army and who make money out of wars? That is the top business number one. There are no other business who can make you so much money like war or army, and you don't look any other business after that. So can you imagine all this money instead to put in the army for wars and weapons, we can be used in one city and one project. If my clients who dealing with army is an arm dealer, if he would donate, it's not my clients anymore, but if he would donate to one city, one center, all that money that he would use to buy a weapon, but actually from today, he will use it to buy an enhancement unit, for example, or implement for one city, one center. So you make your money available for the good of the people instead of creating conflict and war. We'll be going the speed of light. We sorted out a problematic in couple of hours, because the world can be changed in couple of hours. I really believe even the whole situation of today can be changed in 1 hour. I don't think it's gonna take that long if the right people who are at the top of these power games understood the plasma era and the plasma technology and how the universe work and the balance of the book. They will straight away, the first thing they would do, they would invest in this project to balance the book, and they will think, because we don't, if they knew that we don't punish, because I was reading interview of this woman. She used to work in the White House, and she said the politician, the most fear they have, because they created so much damage, they know that now they cannot stop, because if they stop and a lot of things get unrevealed, they will be in big trouble. So they don't want to do the end of Mussolini in Italy. So they try to keep the lie going to save their lives, because they knew that the citizen, they wouldn't know what the people would do to them if they knew the truth. But they don't know that if we sign the peace treaty, they will have not punishment, because we don't punish any longer. We will just move on, and we will elevate them. They will just find a way to balance the book, maybe by contributing to One Planet, One Cities, and change the world in an hour. So freedom from fear and other denying us, Rick, freedom from fears of others denying us this freedom. What does it mean? What do you translate this? Freedom from, not freedom from fear of others denying us this.
Freedom from the fear that others might deny us these freedoms. So in
Okay.
other words, to not be afraid that others will try to suppress these freedoms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is what's happening now, isn't it? So a lot of people have this fear that we've been denying.
Yes.
Freedom. Exactly what's happening now. So that's why, again, underline the essential of this peace treaty and learn this technology, because it will take off this fear. Because once we sign the peace treaty and the government commit to peace, worldwide peace, and we start to work as one, you don't have this. The word fear will disappear in the vocabulary. You don't even need to have it. So, and here we go. There shall be no national or religion border. And here we connect with one race, one planet, and one. I can't. Sorry. Just want. What this platform is all about. So, shall be no national or religion border, no distinction between colors, race, or path of belief, no cultural bias or monetary barriers which divide one from other or give us unfair advantage to one another. Beautiful. I don't know if you can go a little bit down. There we go. Here. There will there shall be no hereditary titles or hereditary leadership role, which encompass kingship, family dictatorship, or royalty of any title. This is brilliant because in nature, we know that in nature, everyone is equal. There is no difference between you and a mosquito, or you and a sheep, or you and a cow. We're all equal. So this will not stand up any longer. This part of the old way of dominatory system, no? The word we had before of the pandemic. There will be no fear of punishment for any crime. It's beautiful. So this one's definitely, this page of the politician have to read. So they will not need to be in fear. We will not gonna hang them or kill them like we did in Italy with Mussolini. That will not happen. So they have nothing to fear. Elevation of the soul of those who do wrong will allow for abolishment of all form of imprisonment and capital punishment. This is something that not just the politicians need to understand, but also the people who are manifest against them, you know, because this is what I found. I found now, for example, in the Italian community, I found I'm watching Italy to see how Italy goes, no? And now we got many groups of people who, with a good intention, they want to make sure that we got the human rights not invalidated, but they're now fighting because there are so many people trying to do good, and there's a kind of they don't work together because and some want to go in the piazza and start to, there is sometimes you can see violence even when you want to do good. So this need to be understood for this longer. No punishment. So we just elevate now. These are new things. This is what I learned. Sorry, Dan, I start to talk slowly. This is what I learned from the Keshe Foundation that I never learned before. This no punishment. Okay. So now we're gonna elevate them. So we're all gonna get elevated. So this is brilliant. There is no need for a monetary system which exchanges good and service for work. So this is brilliant because it means that, like Mr. Keshe said many times, it means that you don't need to work 9. So I've got the microphone open.
Gatwa, can you mute? Thank you.
Yeah. So it means we're gonna start to not to find work. Work is gonna no exist in nature and in the universe. People don't go to work, but you're gonna be able to do what your soul, what you love to do, and then naturally you wanna share with others what you like to do. No, so this is beautiful. I love that. You will create an environment where money has no place in society. This is brilliant. And that's why I think the volunteer, this is what I see, the volunteer in the Keshe Foundation. And this is why I am volunteer in the Keshe Foundation, because I want to create an environment where money has no place in society. This is the main reason why I am volunteer in the Keshe Foundation, for this reason, because if I want to have a society with no monetary system, by me just give unconditionally what I have, eventually you will find the balance on to support each other's. When all physical needs and all beings are met, work will be done to bring pleasure to others and ourselves. The end of the monetary system will bring the era of healthy human beings and true love between all on this blue planet Earth. Working should be for the pure joy of it, or the pleasure to serve others and elevate the soul of others as well as ourselves. All those who wish to serve as decision makers and guides can offer to serve with their soul, understanding and gain the consent of others, that they may fulfill the required role. Elevation of understanding will allow us to acknowledge the unique field strength of a soul that will allow them to serve for the benefit of others and elevate all humanity. Here we go. These people will serve to enlighten and inspire elevation in others. Leadership comes from the soul of the man, and with the agreement of others to serve. Beautiful. So let's just read it because no point me explain. We respect all shape and form of sorry.
Entities.
What
All entities.
entities, sorry. So we respect all shape and form of all entities on this blue planet Earth and beyond. Every being on the planet shall be afforded the same freedom. Those being freedom to freedom to live in peace with all others in an environment of mutual dignity and respect. That's really beautiful. All shall
Hello?
If someone wants to read instead of me, because I know my reading is really bad.
No, your reading is great, but the audio is just starting to break up a little bit there.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is good. Give me the excuse. So if someone wants to read, it's got better audio.
Okay, is there another UC member that would like to read?
Rick, is Dean here?
Or even
Can
a
you hear
UC
me?
supporter. Yeah, Dean, go ahead.
Thank you, Stefania.
You got a nice voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can read from here. So have the freedom of choice to live in the manner.
It starts with the all shall actually. All shall have the freedom of choice.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Okay, all shall have the freedom of choice to live in the manner they desire, such as long as consideration and respect is given to others. All beings on this planet, the planet, should be supported to enable them to live without can't even say it myself now.
Scarcity.
Scarcity, yeah. Thank you. Basic access to shelter, water, food, safety, materials, and freedom of energy, field use, earth or universal resources should be a priority, as well as peace and stability to allow for emotional well-being and the pursuit of enlightenment. All diversity is acknowledged as unique and diverse expressions of the Creator and will be embraced and celebrated as bringing richness to our lives. Every being should be supported, encouraged to gain knowledge. And I think that's a very important line, because once you understand the ethos of the foundation, you gain the knowledge that gives you the ability to be the most beautiful soul, human being, entity, sun, plasma you can be. Humanity in particular needs the freedom to explore and understand this knowledge, which can only be gained without the need to constantly work to survive. Creating the tools to become independent, self-responsible humans must be a priority. The soul of beings will dictate and govern in a responsible, just, correct, fair way of life for the benefit of all creation in equal measures. For the first time in man's history, with free will from the soul level, learning will start out how to know the soul from infancy. When natural disasters unfold, we must come to the aid of all beings in the area, showing no favor and supporting all. This includes understanding the ecosystems of the planet and what all beings need in their cycle of life. All beings will have access, share resources in time of abundance and time of disaster. When a conflict arises, we must negotiate a peaceful outcome for all parties. All humanity must be given an enduring peace. This is only achievable when all parties' needs are taken into consideration. All beings deserve protection from harm to their physicality and emotion. So I think for myself as a human being and a soul present on this planet at the moment, that those words ring very strong, and they touch my physicality, and they are spoken through my soul to reach all the souls in physicality, so that we all become aware and understand that we are in the cycle of creation. We are all from the same source. We all are the same beings, no matter where we live on the planet. Where you reside has no difference. Where you're from, what language you speak, how you interact, it's all to do with each and every one of us. We are all here to serve others, to give unconditionally, and to be in deep respect in the presence of these loving beings that each and every one of us is. We are from the source. We are souls from the Creator. And we have come to a point where we need to consider others always. So in the times of disaster, when we have emotional distresses, or we see our brothers and sisters, our mothers, fathers, the family of humanity in a position of discomfort, emotional distress, we are here to serve and give unconditionally to help balance those souls. So when we give unconditionally to them, to another soul, we receive back the beauty from all the souls, not only knowledge, but we receive back the beauty in physicality of realities, your reality, turning into balance, giving you a peace inside that reflects outside and gives each and every one of us in totality. Sorry, it's difficult to listen to myself at the moment because I've got about 3 different echoes going through my headphones. So I've listened to myself about 3 times. So where was I? Yes, so we all need to be in peace. I think it's the most important thing within inside ourselves. And once you achieve this, then peace naturally becomes part of our physicality and extends out through our soul, which tends to extend out through our physicalities to reach out not only across the room, not across just your nation, but across the planet and a galaxy, the universes, the creation, and back to the creator. And so when we understand this process, there is no need for conflict outside and particularly inside. I think you start to realize that the creation is a beauty for all of us, and it's there in existence constantly. We just need to connect, be quiet and still within to reflect that outside. So when a conflict arises, we must negotiate a peaceful outcome for all parties.
Thank you.
All humanity must be given an enduring peace. This is only achievable when all parties' needs are taken into consideration. All beings deserve protection from harm to their physicality and emotion.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe my line is not well.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can pass.
We can hear you, Stefania.
Thank you so much. So I think this is a good way to pass on to the next slide, to the dome of peace. As we close, we already, yeah, that I think is going very in line on with this. Do you want to read it, or someone want to read it?
I can read it if you want, Stefania, or if somebody else would like to, no problem. Okay, I shall read it. So the Dome of Peace from Mr. Keshe. Please remember this Sunday and every Sunday, from now on until we raise the soul of this planet to a peaceful planet. KF knowledge seekers worldwide will spread the GANS waters around the world at 12 PM CET and or 18 PM CET every Sunday at the same time as they choose which time to suit them. Thank you for participating in this greatest movement by the soul of the man to bring about the peace on this planet as a permanent feature of the life of this planet. So this is a call to all knowledge seekers. Let's together create the dome, the peace dome all over the planet. So when we spread the peace waters, when we spread our one cup, one life, we are spreading souls, we're spreading plasma, and each and every plasma that we spray and we give freely and unconditionally, then feeds back to us and gives us plasma, the eternity back. It's returned. So you, by giving to creation, you receive more. So every single drop of water, plasma water that you spread, you then for eternity receive that energy back because you've given. And so that energy transfer is giving continuously to you. Whereas when we take energy, that energy then takes from us for eternity. Because we're not just talking about on the planet Earth, we are talking about the next, when the soul takes a new position. And so if you balance the books whilst you're here, then the energy transfer, the transformation, the new position is a much more peaceful and balanced transition for you as a soul. Thank you.
Slide. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Thank you so much for reading. It's a beautiful voice, and always hearing you is a pleasure. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Sweta.
So this is Shwetanvar. You see Hindi language, and in India we say Suswagatam, welcome. Welcome, my dear beautiful souls, to the Universal Council membership and the Universal Council support membership application, and or we can say energy of the foundation. And this is an appeal of love, call of love to all those exist living a life of love. And I will say that I'll add to it, the end of the day is your day. Your soul of the man is the man standing for you to judge at the last moment. The last day is yours. So this is how every individual have created a field, or we can say physically bad or good, how bad it is, what it is, when it is, where it is, or how good it is, wherever, whatever it is. So this is how plasma interacts in both ways. So create the beauty this time. Learn the knowledge of light, which is here, as we can see Hazrat Mitra within ourselves, coming out, whole of the humanity as a friend, as a lover, to create the beauty and totality again, understand and co-create with Hazrat Mitra, the light of the Allah, the light of the enlightened, the creator. Thank you so much, and please join us. Rick, can we go to the application of the invitation of the Universal Council membership and Universal Council support membership? And the application will be here in a few seconds. There can be a delay for the application, for the answers to the application, those who have already given, because many renovation, rejuvenation is going on. As we know, the absorption, the transmission, the transition, and the transformation is going on. And so you will see the light, and all of you are here. You can see yourself. This is the application form, the violet flame, again, the violet color, the pure color of Saint Germain, I will say. It's my way, my point of view, and the color of the soul of, as I see. Please fill this form with the soul of your pen, the soul of your, well, combining mind, body, and spirit, as we'll say in India, in the yogas, as we say. Please fill it with your soul, fill it with love, careful, light, and peace. So this will, well, high jump you in a way, in a level of understanding that peace is the utmost necessary thing. And the energy, which is universal always, is the soul of the man connected to the universal creator. We have to understand the soul of physicality, how it works, and create a, I will not say bridge, just merge this time. So this is the application fill. Please, beautiful souls, fill it. Join the universal community, join the Universal Council, join the Universal Council support, join the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here. the next slide, there is the next slide, my dear Rick, of the linked document. Can you please? Yes, it is in the chat. The UC website has given. Yes, this is the link to the documents, which is very necessary. Who is joining the Universal Council membership or even not joining, just read it. It is very, I will say, soulful. The Universal Ethos. The UC Charter, Universal Council Charter, please read, which is very essential. The Universal Council Mandate, please read, this is mandatory. The Universal Council, the Earth Council Constitution, as Stefania and Dean read with their beautiful voice, with their soul, which is very essential as we are still here and making peace with each other, which is very fast in the speed of light with so much of mass. And then the peace treaty, peace roadmap, which is the most important thing. We have to walk in peace together from all over the world, even from the universal community, to be universal as our Creator loves us like this. He wants us to be living with each other in love and peace as He created us in His image. We are the one to do the conduct. We are the one to do the conduct in physicality, enhancing self and others at the same time. So in the left side, there are email addresses of the active member of Universal Council. Please go to the email addresses, and if somebody wants to mail, please mail in English or to any of them with the languages indeed appropriate, but you can mail to any of the Universal Council members. Thank you. Thank you for being here and always be in the ethos of the universe, as this is the time, the moment. I will say, don't think this is linear. It is always spirally going up and up and up, like a Sufi, whirling, ascending above, or the above is within, and the within is coming out as Hazrat Mitra is omniscient, a friend of all. Thank you. Suswagatam. Welcome, my dear ones. And if there are any questions or any comments anybody wants to do, please do. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear Rick.
Thank you, Sweta, and other members. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to remind this Wednesday we got the Radio 11 interview. Mr. Keshe didn't confirm yet if we'll be able to make it or not. So we're gonna go ahead, like if he's gonna prepare condition, like if he's gonna be there, but we don't know yet. So we didn't do the leaflets yet. So, but as soon we know, we're gonna let know in the Telegram chat. But we're gonna still go ahead with the interview tomorrow. So just to let you know, as soon we got the leaflets ready, I will circulate it in the Telegram chat. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments that we should address? Or announcements? Okay, perhaps we should wrap it up. We're at the 2-hour mark here now. Somebody like to read the last frame?
Yeah, I can read it if no one. Thank you. I give freely from my soul to all soul in existence. Take what you need. I am present. The Universal Council.
I am present.
I am present.
present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
Estoy presente.
Okay, thank you everybody for attending the 165th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace on Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. Thanks to everyone for participating and members of the Universal Council for presenting today's show. Also, we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group coming up on Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central European Time. And also, of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop on 9 a.m. on Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you, everyone, and bye for now.
Thank you.